In my last video, I explained that Earth is shifting from the third to the fifth dimension. I said as well that many souls from other worlds volunteered to come here to help with this transition. So today, I would like to talk more about who are these souls, also known as Starseeds, and describe 10 traits they have to help you to identify if you are one of them. First of all, let me clarify something. These explanations are to satisfy the human linear mind, but the universe is not linear. As I already said in my latest videos, time does not exist, all probabilities happen in parallel realities, and every single soul came from the same source of creation and are part of all levels of existence at the same time. In other words, everyone here on Earth coexists simultaneously in higher levels of consciousness and has reincarnations in other places in the cosmos. But because of the limitations of our consciousness here in the third dimension, we need definitions to help us to understand things better. So when I use the term Starseed, I'm referring to souls that, within the illusion of time and space that we're in now, you might say that have come from other planets, galaxies, and dimensions. Many never incarnated on Earth before, and some never even had a physical body. And when I use the term earthly souls, it is to refer to souls that got trapped in a vicious cycle of countless reincarnations here on Earth. To figure out that you are a starseed is super cool in the sense of understanding the purpose of your existence here and to help you to find your tribe. But don't get so caught up in this definition because it's a need that comes from your ego. Your ego needs identity, your soul doesn't. The more you expand your consciousness, the more you'll understand that we're all one. Based on these definitions, I'll share with you now 10 traits that can help you to identify if you are a starseed or not. As the starseeds come from other levels of existence, their energy is so different, which becomes very evident in childhood, before they receive the layers of human conditioning that end up suppressing the light they have. During childhood, when they are with other children, they stand out from the crowd, not only energetically speaking, but also in intelligence, personality, and the way they react to the environment. They are not children who fit into normal standards, and usually the traditional methods used to educate earthly children don't work very well with them. The energy of these souls is more subtle and they are usually in worlds where everyone is more connected. So they don't like violence and they're extremely sensitive to energies from the environment and other people. Because of this, they're known as empaths, highly sensitive people, or energetic sponges. Sometimes they're considered to be psychic as well. Many isolate themselves to block external energies, but when they do that, they end up going against one of their purposes, which is to transmute dense energies into subtle ones. Many people imagine that Lightworkers are super calm and centered beings like Buddha and Dalai Lama, but that's not always true. As Earth is an alien planet for these souls, they find it very difficult to adapt here because everything is very different from what they are used to. For this reason, sometimes they rebel against the system, which causes them to be seen as the black sheep of the family. If you think this soul should come ready to become an enlightened human being, think again. No light worker can interfere with the progress of a world without first becoming part of it, because it goes against free will. And even if they could do that, would you take advice from an enlightened one who has never gone through the same human problems as you? Probably not, right? Part of the mission of these souls is to absorb and disarm human dysfunctional behavior, to teach other people how to do the same through their own examples, which means before they become enlightened, it is normal for them to spend a period of their lives lost in darkness. As these souls are more evolved than the earthly ones, it is easier for them to understand more complex spiritual concepts because they already have this kind of knowledge in their unconscious. So when they study these things, they don't need proof because deep down they know it is true. In this regard, earthly souls have more difficulty to understand these concepts because they have not learned yet on their evolutionary journey, and that's why they tend to look at them as absurd, pseudoscience, and products of imagination. Earthly souls had countless reincarnations here on Earth and have been caught up in the third dimensional way of thinking, so their lives sometimes tend to be much heavier, stuck, and usually follow more traditional human pathways, whether professionally or even in relationships. Starseeds' lives are different. As they are more inclined to follow energies and intuition, they make not so common choices and end up following other pathways. And as a consequence, their lives tend to flow in a non-conventional way. Because of everything that I already mentioned, transmuting dysfunctional behaviors, possessing spiritual knowledge, knowing how to follow energies and intuition, Starseeds change very fast compared to other people, and they end up progressing in just one lifetime, what most would take many reincarnations to achieve. Besides, they have a different purpose here, to help to change this world through the knowledge they already have. They're not learning the same things as earthly souls, they already learned, and they're putting into practice all this knowledge, which accelerates a lot their progress in life and helps Earth to make an evolutionary leap. Starseeds are very different from earthly souls, and as they are outnumbered, it is very hard for them to connect deeply with other people, unless they meet someone from the same soul group, which doesn't happen very often. Of course, it is possible for a starseed to connect with an earthly soul. It is just a little bit harder because human beings tend to hide what they think and feel and to have relationships based on interests, which bothers a lot the starseeds because they prefer transparency and a deeper connection. In the worlds where the starseeds come from, there is connection, transparency, and telepathy, which means it is completely the opposite from what we see here. So they don't like and they're not used to lies, falsehood, dishonesty, interest games, manipulation, using other people, or any other thing that belongs to the world of appearances. It makes it much harder for them to understand how things work here. They feel like they are in this world, but they don't belong to this world, because here there's not much room for the true and transparent essence they have. As the name says, starseeds have subconscious memories of other lives on other planets, which makes them feel a huge connection to other worlds. Besides loving to look at the stars, they are also very attracted to sci-fi books and movies like Star Trek and Star Wars, because deep down they know there's truth in these things, and they really identify with them. After everything I've said today, I believe you can understand how strange this world is for the souls and how hard is the adaptation. So unfortunately, some consider or even commit suicide because they want to go home, even though they have no conscious memories of where this home might be. If you are one of these people, I just would like to say that getting out of here is not the answer for your problems, nor the purpose of your incarnation. To bring more light to this planet is. So do your best to take your attention away from negative things, to stay clear from what makes you suffer, and focus more to fortify the divine light that's already within you. If you watched this video until here, there's a good chance that you are a starseed, because probably an earthly soul would find an absurd everything that I said today. If that's true, you are part of a collective mission with many other souls who can understand very well your difficulties. As terrible as this world seems, just know that you are not alone. You have a whole spiritual family on both sides. Here on earth in human form, and an army of light beings on the other side. If you need help, just ask and be open to receive. I really hope today's video has helped you somehow. Thank you so much for watching and see you next time.